Adventuring with Nep, huh?
Well. Look at what I just got.
Huh. I don't want to unlock the ultimate life form or anything. Let's not.
Oh, is that all?
Because a PC CPU would definitely qualify
Hey, everyone, come check this out.
as that person in this world.
What is it, Uni?
Like, if that's what's about to come out, I'm gonna need the sword back. You know the one.
Take a look at this capsule thing.
Yeah, that's quite a slip up. And honestly, if what happened, and you trying to say that the main four like they're gone, get the sword. Get the sword ASAP. I don't want to have any explanations, any questions. If we weren't here when that happened, get the sword. Dang it. Nations that are too reliant on shared energy will stop functioning when they begin having a shortage of shares. Yes. When the infrastructure crumbles, it puts the lives of their citizens in grave danger. Your sister gave away her own share energy as a way to mitigate this. Okay. I'm just gonna listen for now. Didn't you do the same thing? Yeah. In order to give away her share. Wait. Minimized her own life functions? Is the one on the right supposed to be her sister? I'm guessing we'll never get to see her. By doing so, the goddess of the PC continent remained asleep and became a power source, basically keeping her nation. That sounds familiar to something else. I'm not sure what it is, but she did it knowing it would slowly take away her life. She did it willingly, but she had to protect her people. I mean, I can think of one that, let me just say it. If we're in trouble, my first instinct would be if I know there's, a whole nother country, it's one of the basis of trade. I'm not sure if trade itself could have solved the issue. And it actually seemed like that did happen. I remember Blonde saying that someone asked from the PC continent about, what was it, her shear crystals or her technology? Something around those lines. Something to have to do with this. But they believed it was ASIC in the end. Bottom line is, I would at least think, if you're not hostile with Planetune, Last Station, Linkbox, or Louis, at least you could do is open dialogue. We tried everything. In the middle of searching for ways to replenish our shares, there was someone who approached us. Someone from ASIC, we were offered to take part in the development of something new. They proposed a share crystal that could continuously absorb share energy and grow. See, that just sounds like a bad idea. That's what I'm saying. I need to know the details. If I heard that, I'd be like, no, an infinite share crystal? You know what that sounds like? Do you all know what nuclear fusion is? It's a way, like how reactors power, or actually it's from nuclear bombs. Nuclear fusion, nuclear fission. Basically, that's how we get nuclear energy, right? That process. It's having to do with fusing atoms together, and that energy that they release, you can use it. What I'm trying to say though is you know what else is powered by nuclear fusion? Well, essentially powered, but you need enough heat and pressure, by the way, to do that. A star. A countless amount of nuclear explosions going off is what a star is. If you have an infinite share crystal, first off, where do those shares come from? Like, you can't make, unless you're a broken character like Uzume, you can't make infinite share crystals. Like, energy has to come from somewhere. Please tell me you at least ask some questions. Yes, how is it possible? It wasn't simple because we were given the technology and ample funding. You managed to create it. ASIC provided us with the method to refine share crystals and even shared past data from failed crystals with us. So it really was ASIC that asked for technology from Louis. It's a bit late to say this, but we are working with some very dangerous people. The infinite share crystal, the IS crystal, it would absorb share energy continuously from the people, providing the... But like, that's not how it's supposed to work, right? The people are supposed to give it to you free. Like, actually, I didn't think it actually hurt people. It's a question. That power would be used to revive. Yeah, I thought about that. I mean, I thought that was the case. R4 came back way too quickly. It had to have been that. The footage you saw of Maho in the lab was when the IS crystal was being developed. Yeah. That means the IS crystal was used to revive R4 and also serves as her energy source. Oh, so R4 has the IS crystal inside of her in the future, and she can't handle that amount of power. That makes it simple then? Yeah, in theory. Actually, can you destroy it? If you can't destroy it, use Eastwar and chuck that thing in a portal. But then that just... Nah. You should be able to find a dimension where the coordinates of a star matches your current coordinates and toss it in there. Easy. R4 cannot be defeated. We should not... What do you mean R4 can't be defeated? You just need to use positive emotions. What do you mean? Can you tell us what it is? Okay, that makes sense. Numerous times over these past 2 years. Okay, I'm not gonna say thoughts, more theories now. But what's this?
We're safe and sound. What a relief.
Why would they have an event in the middle of that dialogue?
What's this?
Okay,
What's
let me
wrong?
save at least.
We're not there yet, you know.
First off, let me say this. I sympathize, right? I sympathize with Maho's situation. Yeah, honestly, yeah, I'll do it this way. I sympathize. My issue was literally the writing. If the writing had been better for me, then that actually might have gotten me to cry. Not gonna lie.
Leave the
For Maho to having to save the world, but when you need to save the world, you best be sure that the character's losing, especially if Maho's tried again and again, and there truly is no way for them to fix the situation. Like, actually, I'm wondering, why couldn't Maho go back in the past and stop herself? Was that not an option? Because if she traveled back in the past multiple times, you got to have gotten the energy from somewhere, right? Is it that she's replaying the same events where R4 gets too powerful, Neptunia sacrifices herself and allows her to travel back in the past again? Well, either way. Let's save.
Would you like to see?
I already did. I don't want to see this event right now, so I'm gonna try to see if I can continue the main story and see if this event's still here. If not, I'll come back. But oh right. World map. But I want to know what this has, what they're saying
Get back
here.
to it.
First time you try and time travel, you rush to the PC continent. Okay. Yeah, I remember that line. How are you so powerful already? You just woke up? Neptune, hold on. Yeah, it's the same conversation. Yeah. Okay. I remember this. So then Maho shows up to help after this conversation. Yeah, okay. You all really didn't... We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. You're the candidate. Okay? Now, this would have been a pretty cool intro, I'm not gonna lie. PC Con and the entire world will be destroyed. Yeah, that is huge. Don't look at us like that. Yeah, that's... See, this is what I'm talking about, all right? I have no issues with this writing. I just want it consistent, guys, that's all. Neppy. Oh yeah, of course. All right. Okay. What happened? Feet R4, okay. Nah, Neptune. I want more. I need more details. I need your big finale. That had nothing to do with you. Wow, Vert being a voice of reason. Okay. I'm assuming... I thought that the IS crystal was fused inside of her, but if that's the case, then how did... Maybe R4 took it out manually herself later? Not until 2 years later. Everything was over by then. Whoa, what the heck is that?
Gray sister, what's the matter? Is someone there?
This reminds me of something else, but I mentioned him too many times. Let's just say a certain black comet.
Yes, I can sense something. Come out. We know you're there.
Hi, everyone. It's been a while.
Henri?
Henri.
You're surrounded, Henri. You're the terrorist who stirred up the refugees from the PC continent.
I can see her doing something like that.
On top of that, we have proof that you're affiliated with the remnants of ASIC.
Well, I thought they just called it ASIC.
I'm sorry, but you are not getting away. You're going down.
You mean capture, right?
Wait, sis. Please let me talk to her. Nepgear. Henri, why did you do that?
Questions are valid.
Did you do this for the PC continent? I'm sure it's been a tough transition, but violence is not the answer here.
Yeah, did her parents die? What happened? Unless this is R4. Yep.
Oh, please. Do you still think I'm Henri?
It was R4.
Huh?
Who are you?
Oh, yes, that's the face.
Wow.
That's what I wanted. Nepgear.
She even looks like, what's with the eyes? She looks like a pseudo CPU.
How does it feel to have a former friend become your enemy? Does it hurt you? Does it bring you great pain? And how does it feel to watch your nation become ravaged by acts of terrorism?
That is R4, right?
I'm feeling kinda icky.
Is that you, R4?
That's right. I am R4. I will bring destruction to the world.
So what happened?
Oh no. You've been masquerading as Henri this whole time?
That's impossible. R4 had already been defeated.
And how did Henri get close to them if... Because the whole point was they worked with Eastwar for 2 years, right? How did Henri get close to Nepgear with that? I mean, I guess R4 just... That would have been a better person.
That's right. We subdued R4 with our own hands.
Like Kampa, for example. If R4 actually managed to take out Kampa and get that would have worked.
We'll think about it later. This world has no future as long as R4 is still in it. How dare you! We'll avenge Henri and everyone else. Yeah, we're mad now.
You're mad now?
Do as you wish. I will neither run nor hide.
R4, you will meet your end. Ah!
Did you just... I thought R4... no, R4 doesn't possess people, right?
It's finally over.
Well done, Nepgear. But this is not the end. Yes, be wary of betrayal.
Wait,
She's so icky till the end.
why did it look like they just cut her strings off?
It's done now. It's finally over. The world is now saved. I did it, everyone.
But something's strange. Something just isn't right.
If you said her power source was literally the crystal with infinite energy, where is it?
What's the matter, Nepgear? R4 was defeated.
You're overthinking it, Nepgear.
What the heck?
Rom? I told you that this is not the end.
What the? No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Huh? The way she's talking.
It's a bit young, but
When could she do that?
voice, it's surging with power. Although she's only a candidate, she is still a goddess.
Yeah, Rom is OP, but no, that's messed up.
Rom?
The way you're talking. Oh no.
You're R4.
Is that why she was trying to take Uni shares? R4 can somehow get to the candidates? Yeah, what'd she do? New power? Wait, is this the power to control someone's body? Yeah, that's broken. What the heck? Revive herself. Is it because she... Well, no, Honorary doesn't have shares. We don't know who R4 will control or when, which is incredibly dangerous. What about you, though? Blonde was unable to stop it. Nah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, come on, Blonde. You know you can't do that. Thrust into endless war? Why? The other three leaders aren't gonna fight Louis. Oh, well, Rom. They're probably fighting Rom. But yeah. She needed some type of vessel. And now you're saying she developed the ability to take over whichever one she pleases. Yeah. So if you defeat R4 now, then she could gain that ability later. But there's still the question, why didn't you go back further before the IS Crystal even did that? Yes, that's... But didn't you, we're not gonna forget, didn't you murder people already? Of course. So they did. I'm still wondering about that, because that factory, I thought it had people in it. I see. They're already gone. You managed to gather enough energy to time travel and jump to the past once more. Can you not travel further back? Because, again, that seems to be the logical conclusion. It's not you. Yes. It's impossible. It has a limitation. Why not? Okay. Then once again, I'm just saying it would probably be beneficial to get the goddess who could move an entire dimension on your side. But anyways, I'm assuming that might be the last time I bring it up. Because when you get this is literally broken abilities. She was not made to fight. Yeah, please don't. She might drain your shares by accident. Even with calculating time travel would take 12,000 years. 12,000 years into the future, you have to calculate for 12,000 years. So that what? How are you able to time travel in the place you aim for then? Markers? So you're using the rift? Well, there have been more rifts though. What about when Neptune went over to the Ultra Dimension? If necessary, I mean, it's a much longer time. And it's a really long time, but it's better than the alternative. Then you could definitely stop yourself. Traversing dimensions via coordinates is tricky, but if you calculate backwards from the rift, it becomes possible. Nepgear, you had coordinates. I remember that.
I said this before, but that number stands for zero dimensions coordinates within multidimensional space. These are hyperdimensions coordinates. Zero dimensions previous coordinates were. Current coordinates are. It's slow, but it's getting closer to our world.
In Mega Dimension, you could calculate coordinates. But I mean, it's not time travel, so I'll buy that for now. But I'm still wondering, why can't they use other... There have been lots of rifts. I think, yeah. Well, yeah. Somehow Henri did that, right? Yeah, you can't jump through time travel all willy-nilly. Stop cutting it off! Is this the events you're saying?
You wanna go
Alright.
here?
Guess I should
Wanna
make another
check out
save
some gun
file.
shops?
Let's be careful. Would you like to save?
What's this?
Well, they at least try to account for everything. But I still call it bogus that the only marker was the rift from the PC continent that they can use. Dimension travel is kind of this game's thing. There are plenty of rifts from the past that they could use
What?
as well.
Are you tired?
But then again, I'm once again wondering if the game ends like I think it does, or how it would be the best for me. How could I get it to the ending
It's
I
not
want
safe
from
just to
this
leave me
with
like
the
this.
information I have? Also, I will say, I know I said it's probably the last time I'm going to bring it up, but now there's a question on,
Leave the direction.
like, time isn't the only thing they have. Dimensions. I'm still wondering, because they said they defeated R4. But my thinking was the IS crystal itself had infinite energy, so they didn't mention
Was I too
destroying
fast?
that.
I'll slow down
I didn't
if
even
you
know
need
if
me
it was
to.
possible. I need more information. Dang it. All the time.
How about this one? I'm not tired at all. Come on, let's play.
Turn time to the past time and time again to redo things. One time you were at war with them. Even if R4 was defeated, you had no ideas whose body she... Oh. Well, see, that's another thing I was thinking, but about is capturing R4. But in that case, you would need somebody who could shut off her powers, and as far as I know, none of them can do that. Is that where the lab was made? Wait, what? Wait, when did they make that? Oh, the capsule? Is that what you mean? Okay. You know, it's a miracle that R4 never took you over. Because as far as I'm concerned, nothing stops her from doing that. Visiting numerous pasts, I was in opposition to you all while also trying to develop a device to steal R4. So that's what changed your personality. You still were you when you went to the past the first time. But over doing this time and time, it took all that to change you? Well, at least that's more consistent.
I'm counting on you, Nepgear. I'm sorry.
Nepgear, what happened here?
You are the Ashen Goddess.
Noir, Vert, Blanc, why is everyone on the ground?
Did she use it? Because I was thinking that's like, you know, if you really are all out of options, it might be time to go back to basics and see if that works. But not that I think it will. Because again, I think the whole problem is infinite energy. But why? I mean, I noticed Grey Sister now is calling her Nepgear. Okay.
Nepgear, your sword.
Yeah, she got it.
My sword? Oh, you mean this?
That's no ordinary weapon. I sense an ominous aura within.
Okay, I was joking the whole game. I don't actually want this thing back.
This sword is called the Gehaburn.
Okay.
It's the only weapon that can defeat the immortal Arfor.
Nepgear,
Don't you dare say my name!
She didn't help in this timeline.
I know who you are! It's because of your meddling with the PC continent that Sis was...
Yeah.
that's because
Give her back to me! And not just her! Give me back everyone else too!
did all of the goddesses...
Yes! It's all your fault! Give them back to me! If you can't! I'll erase you right now.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough, writers. Fair enough. I still maintain what I said before on that there really should have been, if they were going to do this, then you could have given me a Nepgear and Maho that at least, maybe it's because they're going to do it over and over again. Don't know. But that chilled me to the core. I will not lie. I will not lie. I do not. And now I can't look at those moments where I said get the sword with comedy anymore. It is no. This was not a funny moment.
Stop! Nepgear!
I mean, Maho, without explaining her the situation, there's no reason.
At that point, I had to get out of there.
Yeah.
My only option was to run away.
Yeah. There's no, like, Nepgear has every right to do that at that point, without knowing that you can go back in the past. Found out later, but oh, really? But see, I was thinking, again, didn't they lose the factory the same way, or the battle? Like, I assume Nepgear was taking part in that battle, Maho as well, and that they also died to R4, which would have also made Nepgear be the same. That's what I wanted. What we saw there, not where Nepgear is cold to Maho, but, you know, a difference. It's like Nepgear wouldn't be the same after going through that. And they lost, yeah. Oh wait, they did? Oh yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. No, but so if they're bringing up past plot points, well, anyways, yeah, you wouldn't know what that is at this point. Yeah. Was it on this continent? I don't remember where it was actually located. But probably not, is my guess. Oh. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. There's also a Holy Sword version. Maybe that could work. Wait, you probably could have brought that back in the past, though. Maybe that would have worked. But I get it, creep you out. But I mean, if you have no other options. But tragedy would just strike somewhere else. I see. The other you. Is she succumbing to her injuries? Wait. There is the device that seals R4. Sealing device was lost. Yes. So you wanted to seal R4 in that? Yeah. Which is why, again, I was saying, you know, Gray's sister probably could have, you know, told them about it sooner. That would have helped. During the battle with R4, Neptune had fallen into the dimensional rift above the PC continent and vanished from this world. Or at least that's how it occurred in the timeline you observed. The Neptune was burdened by the responsibility that fell on her. R4 took advantage of that. I wanted to avoid this. You retrieved Neptune before she could be defeated by R4. You couldn't heal her wounds in the battle, so you had her enter the sealing device, which stops time while you're inside of it. However, after she healed, she went to the capsule again while being half asleep, banging around. It rolled off and fell into a river. The device activated and she fell into a deep sleep again. R4. Well, and that part's at least on brand. Yeah, that makes sense. If you didn't run off and get captured, I wouldn't have felt responsible. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, she did. Oh, I mean, you're the topic. Setting aside the cringy stuff Noir does, since that happens all the time. Sealing device was followed by a dimensional rift at Planetune. That's why you're saying it was lost again. Yeah. Okay. It interfered? Why is it linked to you two then? I mean, you made it, but it just reacts to paradoxes? That's... But why is that the case? That's good. Oh, by the way, this is exactly what I thought they should happen with the original Maho. Everyone gathers around the bed. And by the way, something that I think is important to note, R4 getting the share crystal is important. It seems like as long as they keep the two of them separate, R4 doesn't get as powerful. I mean, she needs the crystal somehow. There's not, I don't have every detail I need yet. What's wrong? Yeah. Not by yourself, right? Okay. Alright, well that's enough for me to think.
Finally, I can get some
Let's heal up
rest.
quickly and keep going.
Let's save one more time.
Okay, let's save it here.
What's this?
So I imagine one thing someone wants to say is that even if Uzume wasn't here, it wouldn't have fixed everything. Then why didn't the writers... Turn around. Dang it. Why didn't the writers bring her up?
Leave
No,
the
that's where it
directions to
reads.
me.
For one, this game does have a happy ending. I am confident of that. Number one. Number two, though, she's the easiest way for them to at least seal R4. Maybe the body switching
Leave the directions
is
to me.
that might be too difficult for her to deal with. But although she dealt with corrupting the CPU, so I don't know. But either way, Uzume can make a personal share crystal just toss that and then R4 can't use her strength, then just
Stop staring at me.
seal her up. Check on her every now and then, and at least you avoid the worst case scenario for now, until they find a way to seal her for good. But aside from that, they brought in the Conquest ending sword. All I'm gonna say is this is why I've been so hard on the
Just
writing.
to leave me like this.
Bringing in that sword is addressing every single possible, well, trying to address every single possibility. Huh. Interesting seeing kids around here. I don't remember seeing them before.
Was I too fast?
I will at least say I see why people said the writing was good. That was good writing. But they need to keep it. If they kept it consistent, then I wouldn't have a problem. And at that point, like if they truly are going to try everything, the Ultra Dimension is an option. The only reason I was okay with Plutia and Peachy not being in Mega Dimension is because their presence wouldn't have changed much, right? But if their whole world is gonna be destroyed, I'm not saying you should evacuate everybody to another dimension, but you know, it's a possibility. They're also asking someone like a non-death to help out with making a device that can capture R4. There's also the idea of maybe R4 versus R4. You know, the other dimensions have a whole dimension's worth of solutions to try. I'm not saying that I'm blaming the writers for not bringing that up. I'm just saying that that is like my hope would not be lost after hearing that story. Well, it possibly would have if because Maho seems to be convinced that nothing she does will work, like the universe is against her. And that definitely seems the case when Neptune does something like that. Where she gets captured by R4, then loses the sealing device. And I will just briefly mention it. There is some stuff I could call Cap there as well. Well, I already said it really. Well, the point that they can time travel to, there have been more than one, like Rey doing exactly what she did. Oh yeah, that's definitely gotta be a point they can teleport to. Or heck, if Uzume is dead or gone, they go back in the past then, make sure she doesn't die, and then get her help for this. Or, well, again, all that's assuming you can go back in the past, because the simplest thing would just be to go to herself and be like, Maho, stop. I'm you. It's a bad idea. Oh, and normally in time travel, just the two of them interacting causes issues, but now it's them touching for some reason. I do not know why. I also don't know why the Ice Crystal will respond to that. But I will say they restored my faith in them a bit. But the part to get here is still frustrating. Oh, and that body switching ability of R4 she just gains, that's bogus too, but I'll ignore it. Because honestly, there were some ideas that I thought of on why that was even possible, but it would be related to the CPU specifically, which is enough. But the IS Crystal gains infinite shares, so maybe if it's R4's power source, she could be taking them over via the shared crystal. It interferes with their shares as well, therefore it gives R4 a backdoor to taking them over. I could see that, but they didn't mention that. So, you know, there's a thing called suspicion of disbelief, and the more details you give me, the more I can suspend my disbelief, especially if I've come up with something I think will work just fine for an explanation and they offer none. Though also, I think it was just a mistake, and that's part of what I'm going to discuss with the whole video itself. They introduced a lot of concepts that when it comes to writing are very tricky to handle, and I'm not sure they're handling it the best way. It's good enough for me, I guess, for now. If they had just, you know, I was mainly focused on the personalities of the characters, and not just that. The thing about the Conquest ending is that it truly did seem like it needed to happen. There was no way forward. R4 was too strong. Which to me, honestly, made the most sense. That and the Holy Sword ending made more sense to me than the true ending. Because Magic whooped the main four in Nepgear by herself. R4, and needed all of them to even defeat herself. R4, should have had something special, I think, that they should have had to do. You could say they got more strength, but I just thought it added to the idea that R4 really is strong and terrifying. But anyways, so for this, but see, I still don't have, there's still some missing pieces that I'm gonna need before I can say that they've fully addressed everything. The biggest one, why does R4 need the sheer crystal if it's her power? The IS crystal, I mean. Because it seemed like if Grey Sister just kept that out of her hands, because the main thing is not, the main fear seems to be, well, the first time R4 didn't get that ability, she just, I guess the sheer crystal made her destroy or defeat everybody. And then the second time R4 had been defeated, but then gained the body switching ability. Honestly, to end it off, this was great. Not completely fantastic, not flawless, but there's still some holes that if they don't address, I will probably bring that up in my overall review of the plot. But nevertheless, I enjoyed this episode. And I was considering, and that's why I've been getting so frustrated with things in the past, because I see a good plot in this game, but when they don't write how we get here to where I can't poke holes in it, then it's an issue. I'll see if how they defeat R4 in the end, if some of the things that I would suggest would work or not, but I'll end it here. Hopefully you guys are happy with this episode like I was. I do apologize. It's just I'm gonna point out what I see, right? And I also do see why people probably would have were so adamant, because the body switching would address the kind of inevitability of R4. If I've been saying that certain characters doing certain actions was so this could happen, but again, I don't know why R4 was so hooked on the IS crystal and begin. No, it's so plan 1 can happen. That scenario. Well, that still makes her a threat. As long as she has that IS crystal, she can power herself up until... But how does it work? I thought they didn't need to be touching each other. They were just intrinsically linked. Like I said, I'll wait till I get more details, but for now, I'll end it here. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. And now it is time for the question of the day. I didn't think I was going to make something like this, but I think after talking with my man Mitch, it is important that I should elaborate a bit more, especially on this episode in particular, because this was something truly special for the series, and also exactly what I have been asking for. You see, when I said the writing was good, I was specifically talking about from the character standpoint. From the plot standpoint, best believe I have some things that I can say. I'm going to hold off. But the characters themselves were the issue that I was having for the past 5 episodes, and I was reluctant on going as hard about what I thought was wrong about the characters. You thought I was saying quite a bit, but it was not to the degree I could have. And that's because part of me was willing to forgive the writers, because I thought it was just something they simply did not want to do. Their choice, right? The series has had the main characters joke around in serious moments before, not take things seriously before, have characters stay stagnant before. It's already happened, so I was like, okay, well, I kind of have to consider that as well. Even if I thought some moments would make characters change, it eventually gives me the proof for exactly what I was saying in this episode. We gotta change. And it was more than I ever dreamed of expecting from the writers, which is what made me so happy. And honestly, I think that's why I was overlooking some stuff. But nevertheless, Nepgear got the conquest ending sword, and also got a coldness that I've never even when we were in the conquest ending, like, yeah, I remember Nepgear taking out Underling, but this just seemed different. I don't know what well, I do know what the difference is, because again, Nepgear took her own life after that. Again, just things that I never thought would come from the series. And this is where I'm saying, if the series was going to go to this degree, they needed to keep it consistent. Back in the previous episodes where I was saying the changing point I thought would happen would be in the factory when essentially all the other CPUs died via the same person, R4. That's a very similar state to where when Grey Sister was explaining, R4 killed Uni, Rom, and Ram in front of her. Why both Nepgear and Maho wouldn't be affected by that situation is beyond me, especially if Maho had her memories. And by the way, something to note on that, the original timeline is quite different from the one we have. Two things I want to point out. One, the candidates did not spend 2 years inside a castle. That was due to Maho, Grey Sister, meaning that Maho and Armory getting close with Eastwar, working with her to manage the PC continent representatives. Also, the state of not only the hyperdimension, but also Noir, Blonde, and Vert would be drastically different. That's number one. And number two, Armory's parents were not killed by Grey Sister, meaning that the whole F2P plotline for Grey Sister specifically would not exist. So I have no idea how things ended up in that timeline. And that's I think another conversation I'll wait to expand on later. For now, I just want to put that in your minds that these two timelines, the current one we're in and the original one, which started the time travel, are different. Like more than just little differences. But nevertheless, and I'm mentioning that to say that Maho eventually got her memories back, and yet, despite that, was still able to joke around. The Nepgear that we saw in this episode was exactly what I was talking about in those previous episodes. And that was why I was being taken out of the moment when going through that, because I was expecting something like that to appear. Not to where, again, Nepgear is angry at Maho, but just a difference. If you go that far, that serious in a plot, the time for jokes is over, at least in my opinion. One other thing I do want to mention is that I mentioned that R4 didn't have a reason, or there wasn't really an explanation for R4's new ability. They kinda did, actually. R4 was a being without form and needed some way to basically anchor herself, and it just seems like now she could just transfer that to other people. My only thing was, I guess just to be frank, it just seemed kind of bogus to me that she could even do that. Corrupting them is one thing, but they're beings who literally operate on the shares of their people, and they are the opposite of R4. For her to be able to fuse with no issues, just like I said, the CPUs have been getting a lot of disrespect. It feels like they should at least be able to fight back against that in some way, shape, or form. Like other normal people, sure, but the beings that literally are all about positive emotions, I just felt that they should be able to fight back. Unless, of course, like I was saying, R4 was tapping into their own shares and kind of piggybacking onto that. That's why I would just, for it being the reason that things can't resolve peacefully, I just wish I had a little bit more explanation. Which leads me to the final thing, and this is just me letting you all know where my mindset is. I'm still not quite sure on how this all links together. And we might get more information. I'm not saying that we won't, just letting you all know where my mind is. So my current understanding, the IS crystal, something with infinite shares, revived R4's, functioned as her power source. But for some reason, R4 actually needs to hold the crystal in order to use it. And that's the main thing that's confusing to me, because it seems that R4 is not in full power without holding it, but yet it also fuels her. Because if it just fueled her revival, but then she's operating on her normal shares, then it's as simple as getting rid of the crystal. Well, she doesn't really have shares. R4 functions differently. But the point is, Grey Sister had the crystal in her hands. And by the way, now knowing everything that I did, that was an incredibly dumb thing to do. Why would you bring out that crystal instead of hiding it, in a place where only you know about until you have a plan to deal with it? And R4 somehow knew that she was going to bring up that crystal in that meeting. It's like you wanted to lose at that point. Nevertheless, like I was saying, it seems like R4 actually the crystal needs to be in her presence for her to actually use it. Because I was saying, Jordan finished saying that literally if getting rid of the crystal is all they have to do, and people actually pointed this out, and this is why I'm saying, guys, that developers clearly didn't think this out. You all did, but when I was mentioning how Uzume might know what's going on in planting, people pointing out that every time Neptune and Neptune were in different dimensions, they cannot access their shares. So shouldn't the same go for R4? Even if the crystal is her power source, if you bring it in another dimension, she can't get access to that energy. Which is why I said I don't know how the crystal works. It seemed to me in the future that somehow R4 fused with it. And that's the details that I'm going to be looking for in the next episode. Is more details on exactly how that crystal worked and how it's linked to R4. Because they didn't address it as much, but there's still some gaps that I think they have time to fill us in more. They just are waiting. So, also, RE0 has come back out now, and it is a master class at doing infinite time travels like this. I'll mention that later as well, but no, I'm caught up to the most recent episode. Well, episode 1. I don't know if episode 2's come out by the time I post this video, but I have experience. Not just that, but also Steins Gate. There's a lot of... I've seen it a lot of times. So anyways, with that being said, for the question of the day, I'm just simply going to ask you all, what do you think of them bringing back the Conquest ending into canon? Because that's essentially what they have done now. Like I said before, it was different routes happening, or kind of like a what if situation, but now it's official, it's back in canon, and it's always been something that they could have done if worse comes to worse. Me personally, like I said, I enjoy it, and I explained some reasons why in the last part, but I could see if other people didn't. Although I suspect that people who had a problem with this game are currently not watching, or at least they're not the majority. So I probably will get a unanimous question yes for this question today. But nevertheless, I thought I would ask. So with that being said, please post your thoughts down in the comments below, and I will see you all next time.